So the first thing, as always, is start up our barbecue. I got the Big Joe here and I filled it up pretty much all the way with charcoal because we need to be doing a low and slow for 16 up to 24 hours. So we gotta start early, we gotta fill it up with a load of charcoal. So I've already done that, now we're going to fire her up. There we go, that should do the trick. We want to let our barbecue come up to temperature slowly. It's cold outside, we don't want any overshoot, so I'm going to set it to about a half a centimeter open on the top vent and half a centimeter open on the bottom vent, and then we'll slowly get it to a 110 degrees Celsius, which is around 225 degrees Fahrenheit. We might need to adjust it later, but for now this is a good setting. I'll come back in an hour and check on her. The Big Joe has reached the desired temperature, and look at this giant Boston butt. It still has a lot of hard fat on it, so I'll take that off because it won't render off, and it just takes away from that beautiful crust that we want to get on. So let me do that right now. Well, that is about right. So we'll get this beautiful rub on, and we do want a lot of this rub because we want a nice crust on there. It takes a lot of rub for Boston butt this size, and if you want to find the recipe to this rub, just go down to the video description on my YouTube channel and you'll find a link to the rub that I'm using right now. Flip it around, really press it on there, make it stick. If you want to, you can have it sit for maybe half an hour or so like this, and the salt and the sugar will draw moisture from the meat and it will help it stick. But in this case it's just too cold outside. I'm going to put it on the grill and it's going to be smoking. So our Big Joe is running at almost 110 degrees Celsius, 225 Fahrenheit, and I want my pork to smoke at the first 2 hours. So I'm putting this chunk of beech tree right in there to help it start smoking. Then I'll put the deflector plates on top. There we go. In go the grill grates. And of course on top of the grill grates we're going to place our beautiful Boston butt. And I will let it smoke and we'll see in the morning what it looks like. It's now 10 a.m. and I checked this morning at 8 a.m. It was coming along nicely. Wow, she looks good. Let me check the temperature again. She's almost at 80 degrees Celsius. Check on the coals. The coals are completely almost burned up. And I've used almost like a soft wood for this cook. If you are using hardwood, that will last a lot longer. So we need to refill this, make sure that we have enough for the next steps. So I filled her up for about 3/4, and that's more than enough to finish this cook. Place the deflector plates back. And now I want to add a core thermometer as well. Keep a check on the progress. Make sure you stick it in the middle. Close the lid. I'll check on her every half hour or so. Hopefully she's going to be lunch, but probably more likely to be dinner. But who cares? It's going to be very delicious. She's been running for 19 hours straight, so she's at 207. So I gotta take her off. Let's take a look first. Wow, that is beautiful. True beauty. Look at that. You can hear the bark. There's a beautiful bark on there, and that's the flavor. That's what we're looking for. Absolutely soft. So we're gonna wrap it in foil, wrap it in tin foil, make sure we keep it nice and warm, maybe in a towel or something, and leave it to sit and rest for at least an hour. Now I'm gonna put it in a towel, and she will be warm and cooling down just a bit. And I can feel she's just falling apart. If I pick her up the wrong way and I didn't put a foil in it, she will fall apart on me. Our pulled pork has been resting for an hour. And what we're basically going to do now is quickly set this aside and start working on a little additive that I like to put into the pulled pork. So we'll start with half a cup of apple cider vinegar, half a cup of tomato ketchup, and half a cup of dark brown sugar. Squeeze it out. Mix that up, and then we'll put it on the fire and let the sugars dissolve. This will add a nice bit of strong, sweet, sour apple flavor to our pulled pork. In the meantime, we will unwrap and shred our pulled pork, our bust and butt, the one which we worked so hard on to make as beautiful as it is right now. Nothing better than homemade pulled pork. Time to shred the pulled pork. Wow, look at that. And look at how beautiful the pulled pork turned out to be. We got this beautiful smoke ring. You can see it everywhere, just under the crust. It's red, that means flavor. You can see it here, very obviously. You got the crust, which is really hard. Then you got the red ring here, the smoke ring. And then the juiciness underneath. That's just perfect. It's a dream to have pulled pork like this. You can't buy this in supermarkets. And this is why nowadays I prefer not to wrap my bust and butts, because we got all this flavor, so no wrapping, no injecting. It is perfect as it is. If you're doing competition and you're doing something different, of course I understand, but I'm just doing this for myself and for my family. And when you're doing this for making it at home, this is the best way to do it. The sauce that we're going to add to this is really strong in flavor, but it's also very fluid. So it's not really your typical barbecue sauce, but it's specific to pulled pork. This cut of meat that we're using, it has a lot of flavor. The bark gives off a lot of flavor, so it can stand with a lot of flavor coming off from the sauce. I hear my sauce bubbling from the boil, so we better hurry up. Our sauce is bubbling hot, boiling, so it's done. Time to pour it on our pulled pork. And compared to this amount of pulled pork, it's just a little bit. It's just adding a little bit of flavor. Really mix it up, shred it up, get the sauce all in there. And now we're ready to get to the next part of this recipe. So we have our pulled pork, and it's delicious, but we like a good sandwich to go with it. So we're making a cheese sauce to go on top. This is almost 200 grams of cheese, young cheese, which will melt easily. We'll add to that half a bottle of beer. There we go. A little bit of cream cheese. That's 200 grams as well. And around 3 tablespoons of barbecue rub. I'm using Bacon Goodness from Udenheim Barbecue. And we'll set this on top of my burner and let it heat up. And we wait and celebrate life. Okay guys, this is the magic moment, so I'm bringing you in close. I got this bun, but we got this beautiful pulled pork. Of course, we want to stack as much as we can on that sandwich. Let's get a nice little bit of bark in there. We've earned it with all our hard labor to create this beautiful bun. And now, as the finishing touch, a beautiful beer and cheese sauce. Look at that. Now tell me you don't like that. This is so delicious. Put the cap back on and enjoy. Let me know if you like this video. Let me know if you like this recipe. And see you guys in the next recipe video. Cheers.